everyone what is artificial intelligence in your point of view. So if you've got a point of view, if you think you know what is artificial intelligence, just send me a direct message and I'll bring you here and you can share your point of view on what is artificial intelligence. Some housekeeping. Guys, if you're watching this on Twitter, please follow me. Like this episode with more and more people so that people can learn. If you're watching this on YouTube, please press the subscribe button and the bell icon. And also like it and share it around with as many people as possible. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, follow me, like, you know the drill, like and share. If you're watching this on Facebook by any chance, please not only share with your audience, not only like it, but also go to artificial intelligence based groups so more and more people can learn from our guest. Okay, so today's guest, someone who sent me a DM and said, I want to share my point of view on what is artificial intelligence, is an influencer himself. He has been doing this for a while and been talking about artificial intelligence. So let me not waste any time and bring him in. Hello. Hi.
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Please take a minute to introduce yourself.
Yes. So I'm Nicolas Babin. I'm from France. So very early in the morning, not very early, but that early in the morning for me. I've been involved in business for the past 30 or some years. As you can see, I'm not a young chicken anymore, but been involved with AI since 1996 when I joined Sony, and was involved with the development and the sale of Aibo, the artificial intelligent robot, which was sold to the public. We launched Aibo in 1999, and I've been fascinated and passionate about AI ever since. That's why I thought your show was fantastic in terms of the focus, because that's exactly what I'm working on and using AI in different areas.
Good stuff. So that is good explanation, and I think you are one of those people who knows a bit about artificial intelligence. Now, the reason for me starting this series was that when we go to Twitter and type hashtag artificial intelligence, what we find is robots, we find automation, a lot of that. So I thought, let's clarify for the people. And yes. So if I was to ask you this question, what is artificial intelligence? What will you say? Please go ahead and explain what is artificial intelligence from your point of view.
Quick explanation. Artificial intelligence for me is to augment humans. It's basically the use of data in a way that's going to give humans information that the brain cannot compete with, in the sense that there's so much information and there's so many ways of analyzing that information that AI is there to help humans to make the right decision. I'm going to give you a quick example. I've been involved with a company managing diabetes for patients.
Diabetes.
They are diabetes, the world probably number one problem today. Over 12% of the population has diabetes. In some countries, it's number one cause of death, not because of diabetes, but because of the consequences of diabetes. And doctors manage it very well. They understand how it works. For patients, it's a little bit more complicated because they have to enter a protocol in order to understand the level of insulin to inject themselves and understand how the body reacts to food, to sports, and to glycemia. And the company I'm helping has developed AI-based algorithm that takes in consideration the three blocks that I've mentioned, plus the doctor's protocol. And they take in consideration every single piece of data that is available from that patient. You know, very often you talk to your doctor and the doctor sees 20, 30, 40 patients. He's very busy. He has a lot in his head, and some information might just come right through, you know, left ear, right ear, and that's it. But that information could have been essential to manage, for example, diabetes, or to manage any type of cancer, to manage any disease, basically. And AI is there to make sure that at least all the data that's gathered and that's collected, that's analyzed, is then used for the benefit of humans. So there will be for the benefit of patients through the doctors, because then doctors will be able to look at absolutely the overall situation of the patient. So that's what I mean by human augmented. It's not my sentence. Human augmented comes from somebody else, but that's exactly what I mean by human augmented. And that's what we had in mind with Sony when we launched Aibo back in 1999. We wanted to make sure that at least, older people needed, especially in Japan, becoming old, they wanted to have companions. And so it's again to augment them. And the thinking behind this was, as we see today with Alexa, with Google Home, was exactly the same. Was you have a companion that walks around the house, that is capable of finding its battery when the battery goes down, recharge itself, was capable of having a conversation with you, but also could answer to you. So for example, what do you think the weather is going to be like today? What do you think of what happened in the US? What do you think of? And all this information, will go to all this AI-based robot. Basically, will go to the web, will get the information, and will share it with you. That's again what we call human augmented. Older people will not feel alone. They could cry SOS or problem or whatever keyword we had, and then the robot will automatically call an ambulance or a doctor. You have telehealth, teleconsultation. All these things could be done, and that's thanks to AI algorithms. So then you have different ways. I mean, of course, a lot of people are going to talk about RPA, which is the automatization process. A lot of people are going to talk about machine learning, which is part of AI. But the overall idea behind this AI is getting as close as possible to, or even beyond human brain. That's why we call it intelligence, but always be artificial. It will never replace somebody. It will always augment someone. And that's really the point that I really wanted to make this morning.
Okay, so let me just make two comments here. One is my personal point of view on that is artificial intelligence is mimicking human intelligence and human behavior. And I've learned human behavior on this show only from someone. But when you're saying augmenting human intelligence, that's another way of looking at it. One question that comes to mind, and I know a lot of people will be asking that question when you talk about diabetes and doctors, that there's lots of going in their head is, and I know the answer myself, but I want to ask you, is AI going to replace doctors then?
No, absolutely not. And that's why I started to say it will augment doctors. It will never replace doctors. For example, I work a lot on 5G as well. 5G and AI will help doctors based in Sydney to operate on a patient based in Paris, where there's a lack of a specialty, for example. But the doctor in Sydney might be alone in front of his robot and of his joystick, if I could say. But in Paris or anywhere in the world, I mean, even about Africa, Asia, there will be a team of and nurses who can intervene. But the person who will be able to make the decision or to move, right, left, or to cut on a tumor or whatever, it will be the surgeon based 1,000 miles away. So again, since 1999, I've heard that question, and I know many people know the answer, but a lot of people are concerned about it, and they are right to be, because it's new technology. It's a change in mentality. But AI, even if it's based around neural architecture, which is what you were referring to, because we worked a lot on understanding how neurons work when we launched Aibo, it will never replace humans. It will really be there to augment our capabilities to do tasks that are time consuming. For example, I have another very good example. I'm working a lot on imagery and AI for doctors.
Yep.
And X-ray radiologists, for example, they spend an hour to an hour and a half when they look at an X-ray to pencil all the tumors they can see on the X-ray. right? And that's the job that they say it's boring. They have other things to do. They want to see patients. They want to see, they want to continue their work, but no, they have to spend a lot of time. Whereas if you had an AI algorithm that would do that in your place, at the end, maybe you spend, a minute or a minute and a half to make sure that at least it hasn't missed anything, which in general doesn't. And that's enough. And so the doctors will gain a lot of time, and that's time they can spend more on patients. Today, we have to, I'm sorry, I went into the e-health sector because that's a sector I'm very familiar with, but it's all the other sectors are impacted. But today in the world, we're lacking doctors. It's a fact. Population is becoming old. It's a fact. We're lacking doctors. It's a fact. So basically, we need to use technology in order to augment the fact that we're lacking some skills.
Yep, good stuff. Thank you very much for that. So you gave two examples. Any particular use case that comes to mind that is going to change the world in the coming days? One thing that is also going on around is that a lot of people are going to lose a lot of jobs because of AI, which I debate all the time. But what's your point of view on any use case that you've got? And is that going to change that particular industry, or that particular people in that particular job are going to lose their jobs?
So the two examples, I've given you already some examples with the radial, with the diabetes, with telesurgery. There are many other examples for factories, for example, where an AI-based algorithm can predict where the smoke is going to go, like what type of products will go in the smoke, what kind of problems you can expect. The prediction is going to be a big subject very soon, because thanks to AI and big data architecture behind it, where it's the way you organize the data behind AI, then you basically every single business, sports business, is going to be impacted, because you can then augment the capability without hurting the sportsman, the sports person, basically, because you're going to know when the person is going to be at its best. You're going to know when the person needs to rest. You're going to know all these things. So in terms of examples, I can go on all day if you want. There's absolutely no problem. Your last question is actually very important. You're right. Things are going to change, and you're right. AI is going to take over some jobs, but it will create other jobs. If you look back 100 years, those jobs of like changing horseshoes, creating electricity, or cutting on them woods in order to be warm and to have your heating system working, and all this doesn't exist anymore. But other jobs have been created thanks to this evolution. It's in no way, shape, or form a revolution. It's an evolution of life. And yes, some jobs are being changed. For example, cash register in a supermarket today, you can do it with AI-based algorithms. But then it's for the management of that supermarket to have an ethical approach to AI and say, okay, I don't need cash registers anymore. I'm going to invest in these people so that they can do another job within the supermarket. And for example, very often you realize that customer experience in the supermarket is terrible. Well, then if they invest in these people who today are behind their cash register just scanning items, if they can do something else that can improve the way the supermarket functions, then I think it's a plus. So yes, there will be some changes, and I think AI is all about change management on top of human augmentation.
Absolutely, very well said. And I think you actually put it very well, that it's not only going to change to take jobs, it's going to create new jobs. And I always say that I want to be in the place to create new jobs. And I think people who will lose jobs will become creative enough to create more jobs using AI. And I think there was a joke going around that there'll be two kind of people who will be managed by AI and who will be managing AI. So I think that's where you're going to be, and you want to be in a position where you're managing AI and not being managed by AI. And I think that's absolutely.
Absolutely correct.
Nicholas, thank you very much. Thank you for your time. It was a pleasure having you.
You're welcome.
And guys, that's Nicholas. If you're watching him live, please follow him. If you're from my part of the world, please like this episode and share it around. Thank you, Nicholas. Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Have a great day. Thank
You
you.
too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So, guys, that was Nicolas Babin from France, Paris, and that was his point of view on what is artificial intelligence. So, if you've got a point of view on what is artificial intelligence, I bet you do. All you need to do is send me a direct message, and you'll be here next time, and we'll be talking about what is artificial intelligence, your point of view on what is artificial intelligence, and that's what we need to peel the onion to explain to the world that it's not about robots, it's not taking away jobs, it's not, the doctors are not disappearing, everything, it's just going to augment what we are doing and making things easier and faster for us to deliver. Because in this time and age, we want things done quickly and accurately. Because that's the other thing. I think one of the use case that Nicholas talked about was availability of doctors to treat on a person, but with the precision so accurate will be so important to see, because you don't want a doctor to make a mistake, and that's where you want to be. So guys, thank you very much for watching this. If you're watching this on Twitter, which I think you are, then please press the follow button, like and share this episode with as many people as possible. If you're watching this on YouTube, please press the follow button and the subscribe button and the bell icon. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, please follow me, like this, share this, love this, so that more and more people can watch what Nicholas had to say. And on Facebook, please share this with groups which are AI focused, so more and more people can learn from what Nicholas had to say. So thank you very much for watching this, and I'll see you soon again on another episode of What is Artificial Intelligence. See you, bye.